Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for the beautiful chanting. We will start reading today's Ekadasi glories. Okay, Harita Mataji, start Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Wish you all a happy Pavitropana Ekadashi. Please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Yudhishthir Maharaj said, O Madhusudana, O killer of Madhu, demon, please be merciful to me and describe to me the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Shravana, July, August. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna replied, Yes, O king, I shall happily narrate its glories to you. For just by hearing about this sacred Ekadashi, one attains the merit of performing a horse sacrifice. At the dawn of uh, Dwapara, Dwapara Yuga. At the dawn of the Dwapara Yuga, there lived a king by the name Mahijita, who ruled the kingdom of Mahishmatipuri. Because he had no son, his entire kingdom seemed utterly cheerless to him. A married man who has no son gains no happiness in the life or the next. The Sanskrit words of the son is Putra. Pu is the name of the particular hell, and Tra means to deliver. Thus, the word Putra means a person who delivers one from the hell named Pu. Therefore, every married man should produce at least one son and train him properly. Then the father will be delivered from a hellish condition of life. But this injunction does not apply to the serious devotees of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, for the Lord becomes their son, father, and mother. Furthermore, Chanakya Pandit says, Satyam Mata Pita Gnanam Dharmo Bharata Dhaya Sakha Shanti Patni Kshama Putraha Sadete Mama Vandavaha. Truth is my mother, knowledge is my father, my occupational duty is my brother, kindness is my friend, tranquility is my wife, and forgiveness is my son. These six are my family members. Among the 26 leading qualities of a devotee of Lord, forgiveness is the topmost. Therefore, devotees should make an extra endeavor to develop this quality. Here, Chanakya says, Forgiveness is my son, and thus a devotee of the Lord, even though he may be on the path of renunciation, may observe this Ekadashi and pray to attain this kind of son. For a long time, this king tried very hard to obtain an heir, but to no avail. Seeing his years advancing ever onwards, King Mahijita became increasingly anxious. Hare Krishna. Do you want me to continue, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Where did you read Mataji?
Till increasingly anxious. Seeing his years advancing ever onwards, King Mahijita became increasingly anxious.
Nandapriya Mataji కొంచెం highlight చేస్తారా?
One day he told.
Okay. Okay, నేను చదువుతాను. One day he told an assembly of his advisors, I have committed no sin in this life, and there is no ill gotten wealth in my treasury. I have never surprised the offerings to the demigods or brahmanas. When I waged war and conquered kingdom, I followed the rules and regulations of military arts, and I have protected my subjects as if they were my own children. I have punished even my own relatives if they broke the law. And if my enemies was gentle and religious, I welcomed him. Oh, twice bronze souls, although I am religious and faithful follower of Vedic standards, still my home is with a son kindly
Noted.
without son. Kindly tell me the reason of this. Hearing this, the king's Brahmana advisors discussed the subject among themselves, and with the aim of benefiting the king, they visited the various ashramas of the great sages. At last, they came upon a sage who was austere, pure, and self-satisfied, and who was strictly observing vow of fasting. His senses were completely under the control. He had conquered his anger, and he was expert at performing his occupational duty. Indeed, this great sage was expert in conclusion of Vedas, and he extended his lifespan to that Lord Brahma himself. His name was Lomasana Rishi, and he knew the past, present, and future. After each kalpa passed, one hair would fall out of his body. One kalpa, or 12 years of Lord Brahma, equal to so many years, I don't know how to read. All the king's Brahmanas advisors were very happily approached him one by one to offer their humble respects. Capitated, captivated by this great soul, King Mahijita's advisors offer obeisances to him and said very respectively, only because of your great good fortune, O sage, have we been allowed to see you. Loma Sana Rishi saw them bowing down to him and replied, kindly let me know why you have come here. Why are you praising me? I must do all. I must do all I can solve your problems. For the sages like me, only one interest to help others. Do not doubt this. Loma Arsana Rishi had a good qualities because he was a devotee of the Lord, as stated in Bhagavatam. Somebody can read from here. Nandapriya Mataji, you can read, Mataji. Mataji, read. I will ask you to unmute. Maybe some problem with you.
Hare
Nandapriya
Krishna.
Mataji. So sometimes when you share the screen, that's a issue. So for some computers, they're not able to unmute. Did you able to unmute now, Mataji?
Are you able to hear me, Mataji?
Yes, now, yes.
Okay. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yasyati bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvairgunaiस्तत्र samasate suraha harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahihi. In one who has unflinching devotional service to Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualifications because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. The king's representative said, we have come to you, O exalted sage, to ask for your help in solving a very serious problem. O sage, you are like Brahma, Lord Brahma. Indeed, there is no better sage in the entire world. Our king Mahijita is without a son, though he has sustained and protected us as if we were his sons. Seeing him so unhappy on account of being sonless, we have become very sad, O sage, and therefore we have entered the forest to perform severe austerities. By our good fortune, we happened upon you. Everyone's desires and activities become successful just by your darshan. Thus, we humbly ask that you tell us how a kind king can obtain a son. Mataji, I can see how many participants are there. Shall I continue next paragraph also?
Mataji, you can read
Sorry,
Mataji later, and then you can give
Mataji,
Yashumati.
can I read?
Yeah, sure, Mataji.
Not Mataji, let Nandapriya Mataji read little more, and then you both can finish.
Sure.
Okay, I'll read till here and you can start, Mataji. Hearing their sincere plea, Lomasa Rishi absorbed himself in deep meditation for a moment and at once understood the king's previous life. Then he said, your ruler was a merchant in his past life, and feeling his wealth insufficient, he committed sinful deeds. He traveled to many villages to trade his goods. Once at noon on the day after the Ekadashi that comes during the light fortnight of the month of Jeshta, Trivikrama, May to June, he became thirsty while traveling from place to place. He came upon a beautiful pond on the outskirts of a village, but just as he was about to drink at the pond, a cow arrived there with her newborn calf. These two creatures were also very thirsty because of the heat, but when the cow and calf started to drink, the merchant rudely shoved them aside and selfishly slaked his own thirst. This offense against a cow and her calf has resulted in your king's being without a son now. But the good deeds he performed in his previous life have given him rulership over an undisturbed kingdom. Hare Krishna Mataji, you can continue from here. Hearing this.
Hare
Yashumati Mataji.
Happy Ekadasi to everyone. Hearing this, king's advisors replied, uh, O renowned Rishi, we have heard that the Vedas say one can nullify the effects of one's past sins by acquiring merit. Be so kind as to give us some instruction by which our king's sins can be destroyed. Please give him your mercy so that a prince will take birth in his family. Loma Saroshi said, there is an Ekadashi called Putrada, which comes during the light fortnight of the month of Shravana. On this day, all of you, including your king, should fast and stay awake all night, strictly following the rules and regulations. Then you should give the king whatever merit you gain by this fast. If you follow these instructions of mine, he will surely be blessed with a fine son. All the king's advisors became very pleased to hear these words from Loma Sarushi, and they all offered him their grateful obeisances. Then their eyes bright with happiness, they returned home. When the month of Shravana arrived, the king's advisors remembered the advice of Loma Saroshi, and under their direction, all the citizens of Mahishmatipuri, as well as the king, fasted on Ekadashi. And on the next day, Dwadashi, the citizens dutifully offered their accrued merit to him. By the strength of all this merit, the queen became pregnant and eventually gave birth to a most beautiful son. O Yudhishthir, Lord Krishna concluded, the Ekadashi that comes during the light fortnight of the month of Shravan has thus rightfully become famous as Putrada, bestower of a son. Whoever desires happiness in this world and the next should certainly fast from all grains and legumes of this holy day. Indeed, whoever simply hears the glories of Putrada Ekadashi becomes completely free of all sins, is blessed with a good son, and surely ascends to heaven after death. Thus ends the narration of the glories of Shravan Shukla Ekadashi or Putrada Ekadashi from the Bhavishya Purana. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare